Hey, it's Shay. I'm a third-year grad student at DePaul University, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hi friends, happy Sunday. The last time y'all saw me, I was presenting at a symposium for my graduate fellowship, and since then I had been more focused on finishing the quarter, finishing my independent study, but I was also traveling and being around family, so I really wasn't vlogging. But I am done with the quarter, so my focus now is to finish this conference paper draft in the next 2 weeks because it's due soon. I can't lie, I definitely owe my advisors a draft from 2 weeks ago, but again, my focus was on finishing the quarter because that was the most pressing thing. Not very mentally there all the way, if I'm being completely honest. Something that I've noticed throughout my entire grad school process is the struggle between reading about marginalized histories and people being oppressed, but then also experiencing it real time, and it's very disorienting and disheartening and traumatizing just a little. Not to use that word very lightly, but it can be it's been hard on me, and it's been like that since I've started grad school. I usually just disengage with my schoolwork and try to focus on things that I have control over, but time is ticking, a deadline is approaching, so I'm gonna be working on this paper. Today's Sunday. My goal is to get a second draft to them by Wednesday. The draft that I have that I presented at the conference is pretty solid. I met with my advisors a few weeks ago after the symposium, and the feedback that I got was mainly just prompting questions about where do I see this going and how it ties into my thesis, which that has shifted a little bit based off the independent studies that I did. So yeah, they were just asking me more so questions about where I see this paper going, and then just a little feedback about formatting. But other than that, I think it is in good shape. I don't feel that stressed trying to finish it. There's one final thought that I need to wrap up, and then writing my intro and conclusion, which I like to save till the end. That's what I'll be working on for the next few days. Today, I think what I'll mainly be doing is reading through this draft. Then I'll be going through the notes that I took when I met with my advisors. Maybe do a quick 15-minute free write of my last final thoughts with it, and yeah. It's gonna be a pretty chill day today. I'm going along with I need a mental health break, but also wanting to be somewhat productive question mark. I'm gonna start working on this, and I'll talk to y'all in a bit. Just finished reading through. I didn't read through all of it, but I read through most of it of my paper. I was going through some of my notes from when I met with my advisors and started reading this article that they recommended me. It is, of course, a critique of Black Panther. I still don't know if I want to add this to my paper because the paper is not about Black Panther the film per se. It's more about what this film and then essentially what other films or media like it sparks within the Black community, and specifically online. It might just be a sentence It will probably be a sentence. I'm gonna rant for a little bit. Just a warning. It has been making me think about the need to critique everything. After starting grad school, I realized, granted, my program is called Critical Ethnic Studies, so we critique a lot of things. It's critical, like we think critically about things. But in that, I always wonder, do we critique so much that nothing means nothing? I think it's kind of the idea of nihilism. Nothing has meaning, so we shouldn't care, or not that we shouldn't care. I don't know if that's really what it is, but it's just that nothing has meaning. It makes me think how much of our critique is useful. And it's not to say that we shouldn't be critical of things, because we should be, but at what point does our critique turn into transformation? We shouldn't just be critiquing things to be critiquing things. And I'm not saying that like this is what this author is doing. I skimmed through most of it because I could tell that it wasn't gonna help my paper, but I still was just interested in reading. And I think this is why, when thinking about my thesis, I didn't want to talk about the trauma of Black folk and the trauma of Black people. It informs my paper and just my approach to research, but I am more focused on how we move forward, like how we find joy within ourselves. And even as my thesis is evolving, because it actually is going back just a little bit, I think I'm gonna focus a little more on our issues, but more internal issues rather than focusing on external issues within the Black community. I've just been thinking about how we, or just me, and the things that I'm engaging in because of what I'm studying, it just, we focus so much on this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. I'm more interested in, okay, yes, a lot of things are wrong. And yes, it is necessary that we point out these things that are wrong. But where in all of this wrongness can we find hope? Because at the end of the day, this is why I brought up nihilism. Because like at the end of the day, we should go about life hopeful. We should be hopeful in our lives. And it is very difficult to do so. I struggle with it all the time. It is hard to read about, I don't know. I don't want to get into detail because a lot of things are very triggering. A lot of it is very sad. It's violent. So like it's hard to read all of these violent things and then sit back and think that there's good in the world. Yeah, this article is just making me think about, when does our critique turn into hope for something, for anything? And it's not to say that like we shouldn't be critical of things. We absolutely should be, but we can't just be critical and stop there. We can't criticize and then think that, okay, so I just pointed out everything that's wrong. Now the work is done. Now we're like everything is good. No, like how do we move forward? How do we become better people as a society, even in terms of this movie? Because the critique is correct, but there's critique to be found everywhere. If you look at anything, literally anything in life, we can look at and criticize it, which is, I think that's the point that I'm trying to get at, is that sure, Black Panther, it has so many issues, but everything has so many issues. So where do we take that critique and then say, how do we be better? And how do we be better for the people who come after us? That's what we're trying to disrupt. We're trying to disrupt all of the terrible things that have happened before us. I think the issue is that we don't stop here. This does not have to be the end. It isn't the end. We can move on from this. Sometimes I just hate like the tangents that I go on in my research. I think because I'm so interested in what I'm studying, I get distracted from my original point that I'm trying to make. So when I'm in this spot where my advisors are just giving feedback because that's what they do, that's what they're here for, and me as a student, scholar, researcher, of course I take that feedback, but I have to figure out how to effectively include it in my work, whether it's I don't include it at all or it drastically shifts my project. Sometimes the things just feel so big. It's figuring out how to make it fit, if it should fit at all. I kind of just like rambled with no real conclusion, but it's 4:30. I'm probably gonna make dinner and chill for the rest of the night. I might get up early and write. Yes, I think that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow morning. I'll get up early to write for maybe like an hour before I work. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning. Good morning. Woke up later than I wanted to, but it's okay. I'm still up early enough. What I'm gonna do right now is free write for about 15 minutes, get a little bit of work done before I have to work some more. After yesterday, I feel like I don't have that much to do. I'm gonna write and I'll see y'all a little later. Say hi to the vlog.
What it do?
Hi vlog.
It's your boy Cash. Make sure to follow me on Facebook, MySpace, Twitter.
That's crazy.
All of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? The Money Man 123 holla.
And I just got home.
You went to see the baby?
Yeah, I just got home.
What baby?
Okay.
Roberts. It is a lot later than I wanted it to be. After my meeting, I ended up finishing the workday at my parents' house because my brother was over with my niece. I just got home not too long ago. I'm gonna work a little bit more, probably do another free write. It's only Monday and I'm giving myself until, what did I say, Wednesday? So I feel good. I think tomorrow, even though I'm working in the office, I always say after I get home from being in the office, I'll work at night, and then that never happens. But it's gonna have to happen. Maybe, possibly. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna write for a little bit, maybe about 30 minutes, 30, 45 minutes, even though I'm not in the mood. I'm actually not in the mood. I really wanna pick up this book and read. I also need to do laundry, because I don't know what I'm wearing tomorrow. Maybe I'll do laundry. I'll put a load in, and then I'll come back. I really don't want to write. That's the thing. That's my problem right now. It feels like senioritis. I guess technically this is my last year of grad school. You know, you're just at the end of a thing and you don't really care anymore. I hate to feel like that because, like, I'm so close, so I might as well just finish. But the thing is, I could get away with not working on anything for the rest of the day. And I might just do that. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm like not in the mood. Yeah, I'll read for the rest of the night. I'll work on it tomorrow and Wednesday. I guess I'll see y'all tomorrow night. Think of all the fun I missed. Think of all the fellas that I haven't kissed. Got my glasses were on. Ooh, I haven't done Wordle today. Who would have thought that I would be tired once I came home from work? I thunk it, actually. I'm making tea right now and trying to do today's Wordle because I forgot to do it this morning because I was reading on the train. I have on a cozy fireplace on my TV and I will get to work in a bit. I need to do Wordle, I need to do connections. I feel like the time has passed for me to do the mini crossword, but that's okay. That's the one that I'm like, I don't care if I miss it because sometimes it takes me way too long to get them. So it does something to my mental health. It makes me feel really dumb. But yeah, I have to do Wordle, I have to do connections because those are my two that I love. I've already started Wordle. I was uninspired today and I just did the very basic stair cloud. I want to do like pound or bound and like move the O and the U up, but D is already taken. I could always just do that regardless. I'm gonna guess wound and just see. Okay, what could that end in? What could it start with? Oh, young. That's easy. Did it. I love Wordle. It's my favorite thing in the world. have a 72-day streak. It would be longer, but there are some days where I like just forget. I'm about to go write and be a good student. Cheers. I've been writing for a bit now. I think I'm in a good space. I was free writing a bit of my intro, and I'm gonna do like a quick conclusion because I think I'm over the page count already. I still don't really know if the 12, I think it's 12 to 14 pages, so I actually might be good. I've already written down all the points that I want to make. I'm trying not to think too much about it because past me was looking out for future me. I finished a lot of this paper. The bulk of the work is done. There are a few things like with the wording that I was like, that kind of doesn't make sense. Let me reword this. Or actually, I need a little more context here. Let me add that. What I'm working on now is just, I'm trying to be more creative with my intro, paint a picture. For a little bit, I was trying to see if I could find, if I was journaling during the time that Black Panther came out, which I wasn't. I was bullet journaling, so I was doing more of task management, which it was cute to see. I do have access to my old Twitter account. It's on private because it was chaotic. I was trying to scroll through it, and I might actually try to log in to the account. I really wanted to like go back and see how I was talking about the film. I really do want to see what the main things or what I may have forgot while I was researching this or what I obviously missed because there was only so much that I could find when I was doing my data collection. If I can't find it, I won't stress it. Again, I don't need to add that much else to this. The main goal is to get this draft to my advisors, see if they have any edits before I turn it in officially. Then I'll be done with this fellowship. I think I'm gonna take a big brain break from just school stuff in general. We'll see. I mean, it will probably help that I'll be out of town because I'll be with family and I usually don't want to do any work while I'm out there. I might write a little, maybe for another like 15-20 minutes. What I've been kind of like struggling with is remembering the point and making sure that that's how I'm concluding this paper. I'm talking about so much. I feel like I'm talking about so much, but the point is really about how the Black diaspora is having conversations with each other online, trying not to get distracted by Black Panther, because that's just one example that I'm using. There are a lot of things that we talk about online. I'm gonna work for a little bit more. I still have my cozy fireplace going. I still need to finish reading Eclipse. I'm so close and I know that I can finish it tonight. The thing is, if I push through and finish it tonight, I probably won't get up early tomorrow. But I think that'll be okay because usually how I write is once I do my free write, which is I don't edit myself. I will just write whatever's on my mind. Even if it's not coherent, I can go back and reread it and be like, oh no, this is not what I meant. Or this is not conveying what I'm trying to say. Either I take away from what I have or add to what I have, make it sound coherent. Just getting stuff down on paper is usually the hardest part. Tomorrow evening's writing session will be a lot easier because I've gotten this out of the way. All that to say, I'm gonna write for a little bit longer and then read until I'm done with Eclipse. Not until I fall asleep. I will read until I finish that book tonight. It is Wednesday evening. I already knew that I would not wake up early this morning when I decided to finish Eclipse. I did finish Eclipse last night. It was a chill work day. I worked from home. Right now I'm actually not working on this paper. I'm working on like a bit of a personal project before I start working on the paper. I don't know what it is. And this usually happens, so I don't know why I'm too surprised. I just get so unmotivated to do anything and just start to not care. Yeah, I'm not like, oh my gosh, I need to get this thing done, which the thing is I do, but I don't know, I don't care right now. Maybe around 7 I'll start working on it. I'll check back in with y'all a little later once I'm actually writing what I'm supposed to be writing and what this vlog is about. Okay, I have no motivation to write. It is now a little after 7 o'clock. I'm gonna force myself to work on this for about an hour and a half, because I do need to be in the office tomorrow, so I have to wake up early. This is just the name of the game, and I decided to be here. Let me work. We're gonna work. We're gonna work. I've been writing for about 30 minutes now. I realize I do this thing before I start working on something and I'm very like not motivated to do it. And then I start working and it's like, oh, it's not that bad. Like you're just overthinking everything. Once I get into that groove, I'm like, okay, that was enough. I did something and I just want to put it off to the next day. I'm kind of doing that right now. I'll probably work for maybe another 20-30 minutes. I'm finishing my conclusion right now, but I do need to read through the entire paper from top to bottom, but I need space in between me editing the paper and reading it in full because I know I'm gonna miss something. I'm gonna finish editing my conclusion tonight. I'm going to do that. I'm like telling myself that I'm gonna do that. Tomorrow I'll come back and read through all of it, make sure that it makes sense, and I will send it to my advisors for their eyes. Usually I like to send stuff to my mom just so like she can read through stuff and see if it makes sense. And she usually catches the very small grammar mistakes. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they don't have huge edits. I'm gonna take a small break and then write for a little longer and call it a night, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all would never believe the day that I just had, i.e. the day that I had within my day, like after my day was already over, or what I thought would be over. It is 9 o'clock and I just got home. Let's start from the beginning. But I was in the office today. That was fine. My day was okay. I get on the train like I usually do after work. You know, it's an express train, so we're booking it straight to my stop, right? Maybe like 10-15 minutes into my ride, we stop. And like that's typical. Occasionally the train stops, it's fine. Usually it's like a signal thing or they're waiting for a different train. I stop, maybe a minute or 5 minutes go by and you keep going. Not us. Over the intercom, you can hear people like going back and forth, like having a conversation. It wasn't an argument, but you could tell that they were like frustrated about something about the brakes, like, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, y'all need to figure this out. But they ended up telling us that there was an issue with the brakes. They'd have to take us back to the station, and we'd have to get on a different train. And when they said we'd have to get on a different train, in my mind, I'm like, okay, well maybe, and I don't know why I thought this, you know, like, and I'm not new to the train. I've been taking the train regularly to go to work for over a year now, and I've had issues. They've been different. I've had different issues with the train. I don't know, when they said, okay, when we get back to the train station, you'll get on the train that's on a different track. And in my mind, I'm like, like, you know, they have a different train for us. Mind you, it's still rush hour time. So the train that we're getting on is just another train that is our line. However, it is not the express train, so I have to make every single stop before I get to mine. With my train goes straight to my stop. As long as I'm on the express train, I can get straight home in like 35 minutes. With this situation, it took me like an hour, and not home, but it took me an hour to get to the train station. And initially I was gonna cook today. Like I took my salmon out the freezer and everything. Because it was so much later than the time that I usually get home, I was like, I'm just gonna stop somewhere to get something to eat. I want a Qdoba. Didn't know that it was permanently closed, the one that I usually go to, right? I figured that out. I'm like, whatever. I was close to Target, so I decided, I need to pick up a gift because I'm doing Secret Santa with my sorority, and I'm like, Target will definitely have what I'm looking for. Target did not have what I was looking for. I left Target, and then I'm like, okay, what do I want now? Because I don't have the food that I wanted to eat. I don't have the gift that I wanted to give. So I did go to TJ Maxx, and that was perfectly fine. Then I went to Chipotle. It took so long. I don't know if it was like the people working that were just slow. I feel like it was a part of that. There weren't that many people working. The people who were ordering in front of me were just like, they had large orders, like it was one person but ordering multiple things. I was frustrated. I've been frustrated ever since that train stopped, you know, like I've just been very annoyed. I am not about to work on this paper tonight. I did work on it a little bit on the train. I just want to eat my food. I just need to vent for 2 seconds because that was the time. Really, that was an entire day in and of itself, because I got on that train 4 hours ago. I will be waking up early tomorrow. This thing, I realized I had to go back and look at when this was actually due because I didn't know. I knew the weekend that it was due, just not the specific date. It's due next Friday, and I am traveling on Wednesday, and Thursday is my birthday. So yeah, I have to have it done like yesterday. I'll see y'all in the morning. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna eat now. Bye. Good morning, friends. It is 8 o'clock. I am about to make some coffee and work on this paper. If I can finish it before I start work, that would be phenomenal, and I can just send it over to my advisors for their review and have that be off my plate for at least a few days. Ooh, I'm almost there. Listening to this podcast, How Married Are You?
I would probably throw it all away in those moments. Like literally it's happened last week, please. But I remember it felt like an aside and improved that. And then I have another friend who, she's amazing. Yeah. Hopefully that unplugged will come best as a kidness. She ended up falling in love. This thing, like women are putting love.
For all the students who watch me, do y'all use ChatGPT? And not in the, I'm just gonna plug in whatever the prompt is, let them write something for me, and then that be it. I've been very back and forth about my use of this and just all AI, because studying technology and specifically the ways in which technology has been harmful to Black communities and other marginalized communities, ChatGPT is not void of that. Like, we know that. However, in the same sense, it is very easy to put a paper or whatever in and be like, hey, can you find any typos for me? And that's mainly how I use it. I wonder how other people are, if you're using it or if you're not, and you have very specific reasons as to why you're not, or you just never thought about it. I literally just put my paper in and said, hey, can you write an introduction for me? But I wanted to see what they thought, what AI, what this, you know, this unbiased, it's actually very biased. I wanted to see what it gave me. It's not bad. It's just not, it's void of my character. I'm almost done, but it is also almost 9 o'clock. So I'm gonna wrap this up within the next like 15 minutes, and then I'll probably send this out to my advisors during lunch so I can sit down and like focus on writing an email. It is Monday evening. I am about to wrap up this vlog because a bit earlier today I did get minor feedback from one of my advisors. I'm gonna give it maybe a day or so to work on it, just in case my second advisor has any feedback for me, but I'm gonna assume that it will also be very minor. It's really just proofread. I'm sure I have some grammatical errors in there because that's usually what happens. And then I just need to add page numbers and my title, and that's done. I will be turning in my final draft of this paper by the end of the week, by Friday when it's due. The fellowship is over. I made it. I am so glad I got to share parts of this journey with y'all. It's been a ride, but it's been very fun, very rewarding. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and I will see y'all next time.